it, Villarreal's first win of the season, 1-0 against Mallorca on the Balearic Islands. Jamie Campbell here with the Villarreal update provided to you by Villarreal USA. Fresh off the scene, or at least from home. I haven't actually flown to Mallorca. I know it's a little bit dark in the room, but it's that kind of time of night in Spain. A late finish on Friday night for this game, and the night's again a little bit darker here. Still, the summer's in full swing. It's hot in Valencia where I am, but you can kind of smell the autumn now as the nights get a little bit darker. But we don't mind because Villarreal are finally up and running. Although I say finally, just 2 games it took them to find their first 3 points of the season. You can probably see my dog in the background there. But a 1-0 win for Villarreal. Gerard Moreno with the scrappiest of goals. He poked it home from all of about 1 yard from a flick on from Solot from a corner. But Villarreal won't mind how it came. Although I thought it was a pretty good performance on the whole from the Yellow Submarine. They grew into it, a little bit scrappy in the first half. Some poor balls into the box, some half-baked crosses. Although Ben Brereton Diaz, who started this game, his first league appearance for Villarreal, was very bright from the start. Alejandro Baena as well. The two linked up pretty well, actually, and almost scored. Baena almost scored from a Ben Brereton Diaz through ball in the first half. And Brereton Diaz was a breath of fresh air throughout, and it feels like, I know it's early, but it feels like he's what Villarreal have been missing. He's that kind of dynamic, physical, hungry player, and Villarreal did look more hungry in this one from the very off, although we saw the best of them in the second half. The domination, they grew in dominating the game, and certainly improved in the second half, especially going forward. Some defensive lapses, although while we saw Raul Albiol come off the bench, his first appearance since his injury last season, Villarreal probably need him to start to get some more organisation in the defence, because there was the odd lapse with Cuenca, and Gaviero went off with what looked like a small injury. So overall, a good performance from Villarreal. Better to come, of course there is. We're very early in the season at this stage, but I think Quique Setién will be pleased with what was an away performance against an organised Mallorca side who finished just outside the European places last season. Villarreal, they banged at the door, didn't get much luck in the first half, but they still pressed, started to dominate the game more in the second half, and finally got their reward for it. They had to hold on at the end, as you would expect, winning 1-0 away from home, and again against a very decent side, but Villarreal held on well. Some good blocks at the end as well, and to be fair, there were good chances to go and win the game with a 2-0 scoreline, with Capu coming close late on as well, and some other good chances that were missed. Baena's effort flicked onto the goalkeeper, and a very good save there as well. So listen, Villarreal won't mind how this came, and away from home against Mallorca, 1-0 win is as good as any. Villarreal now up and running with 3 points after that late defeat against Real Betis, which would have been a confidence blow for them, but they've bounced back in the right kind of style, and they're up and running again ahead of what will be a very difficult game against Barcelona at home next weekend. So we'll take the win how it comes. Quique Setién certainly will, and hopefully Villarreal now can gain some confidence. And just on one note before we finish, Gerard Moreno as well needed that goal. He's had a lot of injury troubles. He looked quite shy in this game. He's a little bit slow to things. Would never really get into 100% sprints, sort of hovering around 75%. Some of the 50-50 balls in the box, he wasn't throwing himself at them, kind of shying out of tackles a little bit. I don't think we can blame him. He's had a lot of problems with injury, has to be said. Months and months of injuries in the last 2 or 3 years, you'd have to say. So you can't blame him for wanting just to stay fit for a couple of weeks until he gets his confidence back. But that goal will do him a world of good, because it was a little 1-yard finish. He didn't have to do too much. And an otherwise slightly disappointing performance. But like I said, there are factors to it, there's context to it, and that goal will give him the world of confidence going forward, I think, ahead of what will hopefully be an improved performance against Barcelona next week, as Villarreal are going to have to be right at it from the start against a very good Barca side, and particularly defensively, where I think there's a little bit more work to be done. Although we do have Raul Albiol coming back into that defence. He got some important minutes tonight, and then Yeremy Pino at the other end is still to come back from injury as well. We saw a little bit of Elias as well, who was largely signed for the Villarreal B side, but looks like he's going to form part of the first team. So that's it, a first win in the books, and we'll be back next week with another video, perhaps talking a little bit more about this game and looking ahead as well to the Barcelona game as well. So as ever, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, new channel that it is, and also check out Villarreal USA for more written content and more coverage of Villarreal in English.